Welcome back, everyone. Well, this morning there was a major press conference, up in Glens Falls, where two of the leaders in our community, National Grid and Finch Paper, have gotten together on a grant proposal that you're going to want to know more about. Joining me is Bill Flaherty, who's the Regional Director for National Grid. Welcome, Bill.
Thanks a lot, Jesse. Appreciate it.
Nice to have you back again.
Good to see you.
A little backstory for our viewers. Bill and I know each other and share the same sense of humor, so I hope we get through this without laughing too much.
Okay, we'll try.
But this is big news. Tell us what the press conference was about.
Well, today was actually one of the more enjoyable parts of my days, where we went up to Finch today and awarded a $1.8 million energy efficiency grant. This grant's the largest one in the history of the programs. We've been running these programs since 2009, and I think you probably remember that, because when we kicked these programs off back in 2009, you were helpful in promoting our small business program at the time, which is we still have. But this was a little bigger than that and geared towards industrial customers. But we had an opportunity to meet with the Finch officials today, got a tour of the Woodyard modernization program, is what the grant was for, and it was a great morning to be able to give them that grant.
Well, as you know, Finch Paper is one of the major players in our area, and they went through I don't know the exact number, but a $5 to $10 million renovation. So this $1.8 million grant coming from National Grid is really a very important piece of the puzzle to help them with their goal of making a more efficient plant, right?
Yeah, well, this is a big project for them.
No kidding.
You know, the grant helps basically give them a better payback to make that investment, and it helps them. They improve the yield on their wood. They modernize the system. They reduce their energy costs. They're saving a significant amount of energy. So it's overall a great project.
You know, I want to put a couple of kind of statistics or numbers around this so you get the sense of it. The energy that they will save, I think you were telling me before we went on air, was the equivalent of what over 500,000 homes would use in a year. 500
homes, but
yes, 500.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
So yeah, this project will save 6.2 million kilowatt hours. A lot of people don't kind of relate to that, but the way we can translate that is those are kilowatt hours that don't have to be produced at a power plant, which means, and you know, there's a lot of talks that are going on now in Paris on climate change, CO2 emissions. That's a reduction of 14 million pounds of CO2. That doesn't have to be produced anymore because they're saving that with this project. That's the equivalent of taking 1,400 cars off the road.
Wow.
And like you said, it's the equivalent of 500 homes, what 500 homes would use in a given year. So it's a very significant savings, and that's why we can pay the kind of money we did, because that's how our grants are geared up to for customers that save that energy, save those kilowatt hours. That's how we determine what the grant amount is. So it's a big project.
Well, you know, Bill, I remember when we met in 2009, they had National Grid had an energy efficiency program in place for small businesses, which is how I got to know you and got to understand National Grid's involvement in helping people with energy efficiency. And you know what? There seems to be a contradiction here, but there isn't. I want you to explain it. National Grid supplies power. So why would you be interested in energy efficiency?
Oh, great question, and it's asked a lot. And really, our strategy today is to use our grid more efficiently. I'm talking about all the wires, the transmission lines, and everything else. We have got to use energy more efficiently in our society and us as a company, and we're trying to get more innovative. And what we want to do is invest and modernize our own grid. You know, Finch is on modernizing their system. We need to do the same thing. All the renewables, the solar, the wind, the battery storage, we need to integrate those technologies into our grid so that we can operate it more efficiently. And if we can reduce the demand on the system and reduce the usage that people have, and energy efficiency is a key way to do that, that's how we're going to use our grid and modernize our grid and make it more efficient so that we don't have to make large investments. We want to make the investments to modernize and to adapt the technology that's out there. But so that's a big push. We're doing projects all over the state to demonstrate this kind of thing. It's part of a proceeding at the commission right now that we're doing these projects, and we're doing one in Clifton Park where we're going to have a new way to bill customers and to integrate demand response into our system. We're doing a microgrid project in Potsdam. A lot of these things are going on in our industry. It's a really exciting time in our industry, and the bottom line is we've got to modernize it and we've got to make it more adaptable and more efficient. Projects like Finch are doing just that. They're allowing the system to have less demand during peak hours and reducing the consumption. So it's been a great partnership with Finch and with other customers as well.
Well, you know what? Two observations. One is that obviously as we grow and our communities grow, the demands on energy are even greater and continue to be greater and greater. And the other thing is that, boy, do you know what you're talking about. I remember this from when we worked together on the small business project, which is still in place, by the way, right?
It is.
But you really do know what you're talking about.
Well, you know, it's a complex industry we have, and I'm only scratching the surface. That's about all I can do, quite honestly. But it's an industry that's really in a lot of a change mode right now.
Yes,
We've got regulators now that really want utilities to be more innovative, and we don't have all the solutions. And I think one of the things we're doing now is we're asking partners that they can help us find solutions to things, because it's you know, for example, in the Clifton Park project, we're gonna really work with a lot of partners that are going to help develop solutions to complex issues. And one of the good things is technology is changing rapidly. When you think of battery storage,
that's right.
You know, one of the problems with electricity is you produce it and you have to use it right away. If you can advance technology in battery storage, if you can store that, for example, you know, the sun shines during the day, solar panels are good during the day, they don't work at night.
That's right.
If you can store that energy that's produced during the day and then dispatch it at night when people come home, boy, that's going to make the system operate more efficiently. So those are kind of, you know, the price and everything else is coming down on that technology. So we're going to be able to integrate that better into the grid.
Well, Bill, thank you so much for taking the time. Big announcement today up there in Glens Falls, in this cooperation between these two companies to make energy more efficient. So thank you, Bill. It's great to see you again. Thank you for coming in.
Thanks for the support, Jesse.
And we'll see you again.
All right, sounds good.
To see this interview again, you can head to our website, looktvonline.com.